afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, like Defender of the Fatherland, off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Arnhem checkpoint. Picture the setting. It's Eastern France, 1944, somewhere west of the fortress Metz, as Patton tries to bash his way through this series of German fortifications. In the south, we got Protegenic here with the 5th Armored Division ready to force his way through the German lines. Having already successfully pushed for an infantry division, the Kampfgruppe Steiner under Redxwings has been assembled to hold the line and throw back the armies and reclaim the area. We got here Festung armor, German mechanized, and assault support with machine gun Panzerfaust range and infantry bulletins versus a rifle company, recon support, and heavy cavalry there for Protegenic with triple infantry. We got a triple pioneer side here for Redxwings, which is certainly indicate a tier 2 rush with the MD-42. Those fat, and he's got no infantry company, so it's going to try and seize as much territory, hold it with machine guns, and then push fast for Panzer Grenadiers 2-2s and possibly some flamethrower half tracks. We'll have to see how successfully Redxwings achieves this strategy. Pioneer advancing. In fact, he does seem to be a bit concerned. He's pushing for the centre. Now he's actually building an infantry company. Apparently had planned, then decided not to. Certainly throwing, I think, my initial assessment of Redxwings' strategy into a bit of doubt, in which case he's going for a curious tier 1 strategy then. I'm not entirely sure what he's actually planning, and that certainly is interesting then. I imagine Protegenic is also going to have no clue as to what Redxwings is planning. But with the aggressive machine gun position there, Protegenic is very swiftly going for a mortar there to help counter that. Certainly a good response. We of course have to see if we can handle then the rest of Redxwings' strategy. Triple pioneers. You don't see that very often. Of course, a little fun fact about the pioneer battalion: any German infantry or division, really didn't matter if it's infantry or armoured or whatever, but the pioneers were actually generally considered an elite part of the division, generally a notch above the regular infantry, as a fun fact there. Pioneers are dealing with the riflemen. You're going to have to fall back soon. Of course, with the less elite pioneers, they're usually part of, more sort of specific battalions that are sort of part on the core level, like building pioneers, railroad pioneers, and so on there. A little fun fact there. Troops are reinforcing. We should be reinforcing soon. We're going to use on the way there. So interesting, very interesting build there for Redxwings. With more rifle on the way there for Protegenic, machine gun being forced back. Redxwings start here, running some issues as he lost his one calf point here, connecting with the fuel soon. And meanwhile, Protegenic is seizing a lot of territory there. Machine gun repositioning, but already down to half health. It is a bit risky they're stuffing in so close there with the mortar nearby and also plenty of riflemen. And there you go, Protegenic heading right on for the calf point as Redxwings sort of trying to somehow establish some sort of control with his opening strategy. Going to do this by the calf point, note sandbags there, laid ahead. Pioneers rushing rifle here. But the low health of the rifle, the Pioneers should actually have a chance with MP40 to deal with them. MD42 there be forced away. Very, very low on health. I imagine the Redxwings might consider going for another MG40 or Grenadier escort here, and then maybe she should consider taking up. I mean, it's a bit difficult to fully gauge this strategy here that Redxwings is playing at because it's just so unusual. But again, it also makes some interesting lessons and things to talk about. Meanwhile, though, Protegenic triple rifle mortar, much more standard American open versus certain these kind of ammo openings. So there goes second Grenadier escort. So 2 Grenadiers, 3 Pioneers, and an MG42. Pioneers are very likely to get wiped out. They're low on health after that mortar hit. And yeah, just about to round the corner, get out of the arc of fire there of the rifle inside the house. Poor Fritz there got shot on the back. So it's down to just 2 Pioneers, squads, 2 Grenadiers, and an MD42 Grenadiers also being forced back here. Might look try to rush the mortar with his Pioneers, very good choice here. But overall, really rough developments here for Redxwings, really rough. He's got machine gun now grabbing territory on the west. They're not even using it to support his troops. Second Grenadiers got their line for Deutschland for the Kampfgruppe Steiner as Protegenic, and the 5th Armoured is steaming ahead. Here we got Lieutenant on the weather for Protegenic. Very good stuff, very good stuff. And at this stage, he could theoretically get away with just going heavy cavalry, just begin laying down mines. So that way solidifies already impressive early map control versus Redxwings, plus sandbags, barbed wire. You could be doing a lot of things to make it much harder for Redxwings to get back onto the map here already now. But so far, Protegenic does not seem to be considering that option at all. And of course, it could go for the Doctrines, but they don't quite necessarily just give them that same ability to just dig in hard. We got tech on the way there for Redxwings, so 2 Grenadiers against triple Pioneers, MD42 then into tech. It's definitely just unique. And instead going for the carve point, Redxwings remains on the defensive again, overcommitting I think to the centre with a force that can't really hold it, while his fuel point there keeps getting harassed and cut off by Protegenic. There you go, like to make a nice company up there for Redxwings. Right now Protegenic is certainly leading here with 3 riflemen, the lieutenant and the mortar on top of the rear echelons. That is a sizable force here with Redxwings, 2 grenadiers, 2 pioneers. The MD42 is going to struggle a bit with him, particularly since the MD42 is very low on health. One good mortar hit could leave Redxwings reeling, gasping for air. Send over the edge. And they're flying away, trying to suppress the pioneers, but the heavy cover's not going to work. In fact, they're going to just make themselves easy targets, particularly out in negative cover. That was, I think, a pretty ballsy gambit there by Protegenic. Might be that Redxwings madness is infectious. Who knows? Anti-aircraft targeting on those on Protegenic. He's just going to try and push his advantage further on, except by, you know, laying down mines. Which you do find a bit interesting. But there you go, Lieutenant flanking up. Redxwings immediately hits the retreat by the MB42, so they're going to throw that one away to the damn armies with their gangster tactics. Then there's a need to retreat. We got 2-2 on the way. They good response in a lot of ways. Of course, with the anti-aircraft attack all the way on the way, it's not going to, I think, quite fair as well as Redxwings might have anticipated. He's going to need at least one more to have a good chance versus the half-tech, and he, I think, should also consider some panzer grenadiers. But overall, really rough start for Redxwings. Just Protegenic to control a lot of the map here, securing it. But again, very importantly, he is not fortifying it. I mean, again, he could have been mining, he could have been laying down sandbags, but why? He would just be doing everything to make life tougher for Redxwings. Redxwings, so in this case, I think is making a pretty good tactically sound decision. I mean, he's basically shifting towards the east. He's not going to keep committing into where Protegenic is already there. Except apparently just to side down his force with the occasional unit here, but he's swinging hard versus these guys trying to grab the territory there. I think that's definitely a good move. 2-2 rolling out, half-tag out there as well for Protegenic. Those move eastwards as the 2-2 hits westwards. It's right at the lieutenant by the field point. Actual machine gun auto cannon there, raking hell on the lieutenant and his men. My god, it's an armored car. What are we ever gonna do? I told you we should have grabbed the bazooka. And there you go, just being shot to bits there by the 2-2 anti-aircraft attack that returns the favour in the east. 2 kills already. Mortar continues to be a nuisance there as well for Redxwings. Very good investment, obviously, for Protegenic. 2-2 continues its work. He almost got the lieutenant weapon retreat. That'd be pretty good there for Redxwings here in the early game. Getting a weapon on the lieutenant is usually quite good, but in this case, the fellow gets away. Might be there's too much else to handle for Redxwings, and either way, lieutenant is not dead. Pack 40 following up to deal with the half track. Obviously, the 2-2 on its own, it's not going to be great. Plus, you can't immediately go for another 2-2. So, Pack 40 is a, I think, very sensible counter choice here to the half track as well. Though, with the size of the map, it's still going to require some good setup and some good prediction as to what Protegenic's going to do, so that we actually counter reasonably. Otherwise, you risk, you know, it's just going to be sitting there, and then Protegenic just flanks it and clears it out with a half track, for example. So a very tough situation here for the Kampfgruppe Steiner and the Redxwings. His unorthodox strategy got punished pretty hard there in the early game by Protegenic. And we shall have to see if he can do something to change the score here. To switch the map around. Back here at Protegenic space, nothing further happening. We got weapon racks, so we got some BARs and bazookas going up there. It certainly puts the get a lot of mind sound strategy into slightly more murky territory, since that's going to put quite a munitions requirement on them. So we'll see what happens. More BARs being headed out. He's just going for single bars, not double bars. There we go. Pack 40 gets good hit in the half tank. Oh, if he's too slow there, Pack could take it out. No, doesn't. 2-2 going for it, but there's Rifle in the way with anti-tank rifle grenades, and there we go. Looks like Redxwings realises he's about to get his 2-2 stuck in a really bad spot. What? He's going for Pioneers again, not Panzer Grenadiers or more Grenadiers. He's going for a third Pioneer squad again. What is Redxwings thinking with this strategy? He's about to lose another Pioneer squad, and there we go. Second Pioneer squad wiped, another flamethrower down. No minesweepers, because it's clearly not too concerned with Protegenic actually laying down mines. I mean, most American players never do. Half track there, a bit fixed up, laying down fire against the Krauts, the Hands, the Nazis. Got the half track there with 3 kills, slowly moving ahead. Pack forward, rolling back, and we got a choice of Doctor Redxwings. It is Mechanized. An interesting choice here. I wonder what he's planning. I mean, he's probably not the 250 half track. Well, they're going to use, isn't it more likely he's planning smoke, maybe some spotting scopes and howitzers down the road, plus the command tank I think is also very likely to come here out from Redxwings and the Kampfgruppe. Also smoke screen down here, which is all getting stuck on the church because it's so close. My god, the Krauts, the smoke bombing us. No, Private, it's us. Oh. Alive and push back. Pioneer's trying to sneak up behind here. Grenadiers went from the front. Due to engaging. Rifleman falling back here. Grenadiers advancing as well. Hot in pursuit here of Protegenic's forces. He tries to claim the centre, not putting enough, I think, attention in the east. Then again, half track does make it harder. So I can understand why he might try and make a more measured approach. Protegenic beelining up the tech tree here, already going for the Battalion command post, and Redxwings is, I think, far away from any sign of armour. Rifleman falling back here to behind the Noble Blitz. Half time we're up. We can see the Protegenic basically taking advantage of the lead he's got so far versus Redxwings to build a fuel cache, and so he gets more fuel long term than Redxwings. And certainly might help him towards, you know, more armor, and for that matter, heavy armor. And what? Whoa! He actually did it! The absolute madman did it. He went for a 250 half track with a Grenadier squad in it. Of course, not the actual 250 half track with a machine gun on the front. Hell, even one, you know, for the rear, essentially. But technically, the rear machine gun was provided by the squad riding the half track. Oh, well, he's rushing it ahead here. I'm not entirely sure what he's planning with the 250 half track, but it is an interesting choice there in some ways, though wouldn't call it the most efficient, but it is a choice, it is a decision. So there you go, grabbing territory with the mechanized infantry group there. The 250 half track was used primarily for the Aufklärer in a Panzer reconnaissance unit. Usually they were armoured cars, and then usually sort of a half track battalion there. They're sort of meant to provide, you know, support for the armoured cars. In many cases, they usually found themselves using an additional Panzer Grenadier battalion just in smaller half tracks. Later into the war, it would though be replaced with the 251 half track as well for the reconnaissance units, as the 250 half track basically got switched over to being produced as an armoured car, but basically it's just, you know, the turret from the 222 on top here, since the 250 half track was much better off road than the 222. So a few fun facts there. Few fun facts there about German reconnaissance and the Aufklärer, which were, by the way, just like you know, the Pioneers were seen as a division elite. The reconnaissance troops were also usually seen as, you know, being a notch above. That includes, of course, the ones on the half tracks. Fun facts: regular Panzer division, by the way, just had them driving around in cars. They usually were not in half tracks. To the pack here, going for the half track. And there we go. Ambushes here at Protegenic, catch him off guard and punish him for playing his half track too aggressive. Very good work there by Redxwings. A bit of a blow there to Protegenic. And we got the Pioneers now inside the 250 half track, forming up a smaller flame for a half track that way. And got the 222 rescue for Redxwings. In the cuff point there. Very good work. Got the 250 half track moving in there, burning a bit away at the Yankees, but got an tank rifle damaging there. We got no tech up there for Redxwings. Medic bunker almost done. 14 minutes. It's only a bit late. And more Scott out there for Protegenic. Didn't try to push for Sherman. Fast here versus Redxwings. Instead he went for the Scott. Obviously a lot better versus infantry. In some ways also cheaper, but oh, got a wipe there. Quite a loss for Redxwings. That is one infantry squad he's short now. I do believe those are the chaps that arrived in the half-track as well. Troops reinforcing, 250 half-track, good to go again. Oh, looks like a tree went airborne. There he goes swimming against the rifleman there. Step on it, Ludwig, step on it. Try to see he can't run him over. But he can't, regulations don't allow it. This is war. To hell with the regulations. Going ahead there, going for the lieutenant. Pretty ballsy move there by Redxwings, to be honest. Looking very close to losing the half-track, but no, he gets away with the Pioneers slightly intact, and we got a command tank out here of Redxwings. Still no tech up. Redxwings strategy continues to appear somewhat alien. We'll have to see what he's sort of going to aim for later down the road. Since he can't just keep relying on command tank, he's going to have to text the question is he's playing tier 3 or tier 4. Regular Panzer 4s, maybe Panzer 5s. Protegenic here going for the 5th caliber machine gun. We got the CoH2 one there being hit by the rifle. Command tank moving in. Grabbing the point there. Rifle retreated. Smoke screen over here. Not entirely sure what he's smoking in that position. There you go, command tank really missing the Scot though. Point blank more or less. There you go, second shot though bounces off the Scott's armor. First shot as well. Bit of bad luck there for Redxwings, and Sherman away for Protegenic. And the only one pack 47 can fit the struggle there for Redxwings to deal with it. And we got Rifle Company for Protegenic. Now that's a curious choice at this stage of the game. Like most players at this stage would usually be aiming for, like, you know, heavy cavalry in the Pershing, but Protegenic is actually going to go for ECH here versus Redxwings. Be a very interesting choice. I mean, it's obviously fast out to get the ECH, plus you open up for some other things as well, but it's just not something you see very often. Rushing the 5th caliber with the half-track Pioneers, supported by the command tank. There we go, wipes the 5th caliber, quite a loss there for Protegenic as the Kampfgruppe Steiner launches a surprise assault. And certainly most of Redxwings strategy so far can be best described with surprise. Or Überraschung, I suppose, in German. No take-up still there for Redxwings. I mean, versus EC8s, he's definitely going to need either Stoops, who's going to somehow have to stall for Panthers to have a chance there. Because Panther 4s will not be particularly favoured versus the EC8 due to the EC8's higher armour, penetration, and health, making it very good in 1 versus 1 versus the Panther 4s. It's a lot more cost effective in that sense, being only slightly more expensive than the Panzer 4, but you get so much more value. You see it, they're rolling ahead. Protegenic remains control the center, got the 2 Demon Lieutenant in the east. So how will Redxwings respond to the fresh armoured threat here from Protegenic as it moves ahead there with a 76mm gun? The E8 or EC8 refers basically to the suspension, which gave it some slightly better off-road performance. Fun fact. Reinforcing healing, no tag up yet. Pioneers moving in. Command tank sending out the second pack forward in for the Redxwings. Obviously going to help versus armor, but I think it also indicates Redxwings is planning something a bit sort of long term with armor. He might actually planning for tier 4 then Panthers if he's going to go for double packs. In theory he could try and just rush out, you know, some Stoops. I think that's going to be not particularly easy due to the effective harassment of Protegenic of Redxwings fuel. And Redxwings otherwise slightly awkward map control. Fun fact about the Sherman tanks in general, they act at spring-loaded hatches, meaning you could more easily just pop them out and get out of the tank very fast if you needed to, which is probably One of the bigger benefits of the Sherman tank, like, you just were much more likely to survive getting hit in a Sherman tank in most cases than other tanks. That is, didn't just immediately blow up, which of course always happens. So, it didn't immediately blow up. You actually had a better chance of getting out of the tank alive than with a lot of other tanks, since to an extent, at least that way, it was designed for higher survivability, which is actually something worthwhile to point out. Though, of course, if you cooked up immediately, you're still screwed no matter what. And obviously, in that sense, the Sherman's overall weaker armor kind of helped towards that. From there, getting glass in there, go straight ahead into the Pack 40 here. Close to half over already there. Conditioning the camp rifle and pushing them back here. 5th armor. There is beginning to running into some issues with the Kampf of the Steiner, but there still remains dominant, still remains in control. Mines being attempted here as he now tries to slow down Redxwings' advances here. Oh, almost got the command tank there. And there you go, another hit from the Pack 40 in the EC8. Half-Tech takes a real hit. He's going to likely lose it here. Other Pack 40 up in the Scott. Oh, he's going to lose the Sherman. Protegenic too slow. Didn't lay down the smoke screen either with the Sherman. That was a bit of a tactical error there by Protegenic, and it was once Redxwings was perfectly situated to take advantage of and punish him for, leaving the EC8 now smouldering, burning hulk in the middle of the bloody road. And these M4 going territory. Back here we got still no takeoff for Redxwings. Two to two hits a mine, another EC8 out there for Protegenic. And these reinforcing, 250 half-tech that went down here. Bit of a loss for Germany, for Deutschland. There we go, Scott assaults the 222, not the all the way around, 222 assaults the Scott. That takes a nice hit there from the 75mm howitzer, punching a big fat hole into the 222, forcing their Gefreite Wilhelm to fall back. Claim the calf point. Redxwings himself could, I think, benefit from some fuel cache at this stage to help with all the fuel he's lost here due to the harassment of Protegenic. And there you go, second EC out there for Protegenic. And we got to the far end. Crashing a linchpin there of Redxwings' defense of the town centre as the restaurant collapses under shower artillery. EC there circles about looking for some easy prey. They need to be careful with the packs. You need to remember that the Sherman has access to smoke screens. When before to come on the flank with the Pack 40 is actually a bit exposed, need to get the command tank up. They need to deal with the infantry as Protegenic just relentlessly marches on there. Go halt it. Was a bit close though. Protegenic had some smoke in there. He might be able to go through. There's even rifle support, the command tank they're definitely difficult to deal with for the riflemen, themselves getting into a bit of trouble. There we go, final takeoff of Redxwings, and again I'm guessing he's going to go for tier 4 here. He's going to try and pull for Panthers, though I mean he could surprisingly just go for Stoops or Panther Force. In some ways Panther Force would be the most likely surprise because it'd just be a weird choice here to the EC8s in some ways. Again, they're not frightfully efficient. They are not frightfully efficient. So they're getting glassed by the command tank. Grab the point there. No tier 4 yet, no support required either. Two dealing with the major quite efficiently. Two of that quite efficiently. We can see the Protegenic to an extent is slightly giving up the town centre, at least for now. They're also trying to maneuver about Redxwings more, which is definitely a good move. A good push here behind, the town centre could actually catch Redxwings off guard and maybe destroy some of his weaker support weapons. But he's going to have to stall, I think, at least for another tank before trying to pull that one off. Good use of smoke there by Protegenic. Using the Scott for it as well, which is actually free. Fun fact. Got his team with the lieutenant. Back at Protegenic space, nothing further going on, and Redxwings does end up going for the Diplomat Corps. He could, I think, try and get away with the heavy Panzer Corps, but in the end, at least for now, he's going for the Diplomat Corps, probably going for Stokes. Stokes will at least be the best choice here. Panzer Force would not be the worst choice, that'd be the Austrian, but I think not the most efficient either. So we'll see what he ends up with. Though it is very much starting to look like he's aiming for a Panzer IV, which is going to be pretty unfavourable here versus the EC8, truth be told. We'll have to see how he handles that. As Protegenic soon is able to call in another EC8 to support the frontline troops versus the Krauts. And there you go. Redxwings in the end does go for the Panzer IV. Versus EC8's not the best choice there. It's not what I'd recommend there for Protegenic versus Redxwings, but I mean you can go for it. Redxwings versus Protegenic, not the other round, sorry. Got a bit of a headache, which is making it slightly harder for me to concentrate. Makes a bit of mistakes. White Frost on the MB42 almost gets it if just the men were not pinned down. They could have just finished it off, but still. Force retreat there from Redxwings MD42. Panzer IV almost down there for Redxwings for the Kampfgruppe Steiner. Creeping ahead, they're coming to fire from the Scot, and there you go. EC8 sweeps in. You can actually go for second one now. Excellent hit on the Grenadiers. Excellent hit. Almost got them wiped. And he does get the wipe, leading Redxwings now with only one Grenadier squad. That's actually a precarious little amount of infantry. And something Redxwings needs to fix. There we go, more Grenadiers. Protegenic not going for another EC8 when he can. He should definitely be pushing for as much medium armour as possible. Mortar firing down, snuffing out the life of poor Ludwig. And then Heinz. We could get the last one as well. There's going to be some losses there for Redxwings. Nope. Redxwings Pioneers, get away. Good luck there. Good luck there for Redxwings. There you go, Panzer IV to the rescue, supported by the Pack 40s, and he almost get the Scot, but some poor sap ends up taking a shot there for the Scot. And there you go, you see it to the rescue. Bazooka fires well there. Panzer IV already down to half health, and another EC8 finally on the way there for Protegenic. $77 points left for Redxwings. Things starting to look pretty dicey. We got two there going for the Scot, looking to find, and there you go. Punching through the thin armor with its autocannon. And he gets it, he finishes off the Scot with the 222. Nice raid there by Redxwings. Nice raid. Calling in smoke, I imagine it's more of a reconnaissance run maybe? Hard to say exactly what's planning there, but either way. Second EC up for Protegenic, now putting him at 2 tanks, whereas Redxwings has essentially got 1.5, the Panzer IV being an actual tank, the command tank being a bit more of a specialist. And then the 222, which is definitely not going to fare well versus the EC8s, not without a ton of support. Cow being slightly dashed away there in the west. Going to use the command tank there, going for the western victory point as Redxwings tries to stem the bleeding of victory point. He's suffering. There you go, gets a wipe. Ooh, nice work there by Redxwings. Very nice work. Protegenic neatly saying about replacing the lost rifleman there. Pushing up the west side here with Grenadiers and likes here for Redxwings. Finding another centre, we got both EC8s already. Could theoretically try and rush Redxwings in the centre. Though of course we're ready to lay down smoke. But looks like he's not too keen. He's probably still worried about the double pack 40s. So the double pack 40s is actually back in Redxwings base, and Protegenic does not know. And we got Panzer Gun 1, we got the 2 running about here in the rear lines looking for EC targets. He might try and go for the ambulance here. Redxwings has gone a bit berserk and was really close actually pulling it off, but in the end though, Protegenic's ambulance perseveres. Although it is now safe to say it's much more ventilated than the previous version of the ambulance. Rather push back here with the Pioneers and the command tank. Very, very close eventually too. He's moving in the Misco, spotting the Germans and opening up with its 76mm gun. And smoke screen down again. Here's smoke screen down again. Officers getting lines of fire. Panzers are pushing for the center victory point, but there are quite a bit of big targets there for everything. Protegenic has covering it. Grenades off. And what? The ambulance got sent up there? I'm not entirely sure what happened there for Protegenic. I'm guessing that was a misclick. That was a bit of an annoying loss there for Protegenic. Should I mean, that can only be a misclick. Quick smoke bombs down there from Redxwings to cut the troopers pack forward, so Bob and hits Protegenic. Make good shots, got these hitting the Panther 4. There you go. One shot bounce. Actually, that's pretty lucky there for Redxwings. Meanwhile, Protegenic falling back there. He's worried about the pack 40s that could be carrying the Panzer 4 easily. So what is Redxwings planning next? Another Panzer 4. Will he have to try and take out now, or will there be Ostwings or Stuks instead? As for Protegenic, he's not too far from a third EC8. Grabbing the fuel pond there. Redxwings getting bolder, more in control here over the map, and we got another Panzer 4 there for Redxwings, another Panzerkampfwagen 4. As Protegenic assembles a large armed force with a third EC8 on the way, though he's going to need, I think, more infantry soon. His force is going to be diminished there quite a bit. Machine guns coming here and there. We got a big push into the East Rifleman Lieutenant and 2 EC8s. An Armored Fist of America. Almost got the Grenadiers there, but they do successfully escape. And the third EC8 arrives, so we got sort of raining down the centre, trying to clear out the area there for anything Redxwings has. So 2 tanks, a command tank with 2 pack 40s versus 3 EC8s. That is going to be interesting. Got the tanks moving about, got troops heading northwards as well. There you go, Panzer moving ahead, then into the line of fire. Straight into the EC8, which easily penetrates the Panzer IV's armour. Now the EC8 moving in, they're catching the tank there in a crossfire from a lot of tanks. Anti-tank rifle could possibly go over, they had the units close enough, got smoking down. Pack 40's covering up, he could smoke here with the EC8s and then rush. Except he doesn't have the munitions, so he actually can't. But we got bazooka teams moving up, they're trying to deal with it, but instead they are met with a hailstorm of violence and death there from Redxwings forces and getting wiped in the process. Protegenic's force actually now rather small-ish, with very little infantry left. There you go, lost another unit and a lot of tanks, but infantry-wise and anything else, that he's quite light, whereas Redxwings is more or less at full prop cap. So I think Protegenic needs to switch up his tactics and strategy a bit here versus Redxwings. Bun grenade off against the rifleman and oof, didn't quite get the wipe there. More riflemen for Protegenic. Panzer IV moving ahead there. Major Weber strikes at the armies. There you go, Panzer IV flanking the EC8 and a surprise move there. Very nicely done there by Redxwings. Got the infantry dealing with the EC8 in the west. That is pretty ambitious objective there by Redxwings, which is immediately failed. Got the package trying to take the isolated EC8 down. With a tank and support as well. In the east there, we got the commander team with the Panther, or the EC8 team with the Panther, and there you go, gets it. Leaving Redxwings short, one medium tank. The smoke is simply put too late. And there you go, Panther 1 to the remaining EC8. Separate from the rest, it still continues to fight heroically. Taking the Panther 4 down to half of the explosion. The rear there is a bit risky. Makes it easier for the Panther 4 to deal with the EC8. And there you go, Pack 4's arrived to the scene, taking out the completely wrecking Protegenic's third EC8. Bet you 2 Panther 4 there for Redxwings. With a Skirmishes on the way. Oh, gun is almost wiped out with the double EC8. Almost wiped light machine gun. Oh, that's a bazooka dropped actually, never mind. Tanks pulling back the 1, approaching it. Stu almost down there for Redxwings. And we got an MD-42 which could consider by incendiary armor pistol to increase damage. And then there got another obstacle bled out and murdered. Protegenic is bleeding out aggressively. Like he's down to. Oh, that's Redxwings down to 40, but he's down force-wise down to a lot, not a lot. There were 300 scores and 2 EC8s. And he's got a big victory point lead still, but even then, he can't really afford, I think, more losses like this. Turning northwards here. And got the tanks on the move as well. Got the Stuke there ready as well now. Gefechtsbereit for Redxwings. Stuke 3G, early war model. You can usually tell because of the gun mantlet, which is on the early models was much more square, less rounded compared with the late models, which had that. Also, normally they'd have a remote controlled machine gun station in there instead of that Pendle Mountain 1. Fun fact as well. Also, they're more likely to have a coaxial machine gun, which would usually be sort of situated right here on the map as well. Though some of the early models did have it, they were much more common than the late war model Stugs. I kind of wish they would add that to the Stug. Looks like both players are shouting each other up. You can see there that Protegenic trying to sneak about. They're hitting the west flank there, forcing Redxwings to divert attention away from the centre to deal with that. Not a bad idea, not a bad idea. Though still he needs to build up his forces and needs to do so in a cost-efficient manner as possible to avoid any further losses. Since Protegenic at this stage is going to struggle very hard to deal with them. He can go for 30s hit now he wants to. Very likely will do that. Tanks are taking hits from the pack forwards. The punch up at Kanone 40. Rather than getting bombarded. There goes, he's screaming out. There goes Giga hitting the Stuke, getting a good hit. He's going to get the Stuke. Ach nein, a loss for Germany. Sturmgeschütz kaputt. I repeat, the Sturmgeschütz is kaputt. Verdammten Armies. Smoking down there, trying to cut the treaty. Staying up good hit off from the Panther 4. You can destroy that. Trying to help out. Protegenic or not. In this case, he didn't quite. Those guns moving in. MB42 ball is still not secured. He could have grabbed them with the rear slons, to be honest. Tank moving about here. Very, very close to Bet-23. Protegenic is just loading resources. Probably busy managing everything else on the front line. Damage tank pulling back. Pack pulling up. We got smoke called in there to give the EC8 here more time to fall back. There we go. Bet-23 ace. EC8. Smoking down maybe. Nope. Nope. Doesn't have the munitions. Actually, now that I look at it. Partly course to spend on white phosphorus, I guess, there. Third EC8 though is finally approaching there for Protegenic. Tanks pull back for repairs. They are in desperate need of it. In particular, the EC8 ace would be a big loss there for Protegenic at this stage of the fight. There's continue to fight versus the Grenadiers. Another Stu for Redxwings. Another Sturmgeschütz. 300 points left there for Protegenic and the 5th Armoured. Pulling back the Panther 4 for repairs, and there you go, another EC8. Grabbing the point there. And Stug almost down there for Redxwings for Deutschland. And Teller mines. Obviously, we can sort of catch any of Protegenic's tanks on that. That's going to be a huge boon for Redxwings. Makes it much easier to catch them and destroy them. So, I mean, that's going to have a nice effect. Partly just when he catches the first, but also because then it's going to force Protegenic most likely to play more cautious. He has to, you know, take a mine threat very seriously. Whereas right now, he's not. Redxwings going for more Panzer Grenadier here. We'll have to see if they can last longer than the previous squad. Maybe they will suffer the same perilous fate as, you know, befell the first Panzer Grenadier squad. EC8 falling back, we've got the Stug moving in. Need to cover that Stug. There's a lot of EC8s ready to just fall upon the Stug like a ton of bricks. Freedom bricks. Gonna stay by, there you go. Panzer down in the Indian Stug. He's not going to pursue. But what he's going to do is going to keep sending the guns right to the line of fire of the EC8 there, which is definitely less than well advised. There you go. Sturmgeschütz opening up. Panzerfaust off there. Doesn't quite do enough damage or fails to penetrate. Of which they have a small chance in general. Falling back further here, I think it's a good decision by Redxwings rather than trying to continue up there with all the possibility of EC8 just swarming his Stug. I think falling back to a safer defend line for now is the right choice. No attack. For Protegenic, nothing further going in his base. Tanks being repaired. $35 points left of a Redxwings. Starting to look a bit dicey, though interesting enough Protegenic's not putting as much effort elsewhere as he can, and just only allowing Redxwings to, you know, lower the difference between him and Protegenic. Two veteran Sherman crews opening up the Pioneers, then ignoring them, but there he goes straight into the packs, and the Stugs, he's going to lose that EC8. He underestimated Redxwings' tenacity in defending the fatherland. There you go. EC8 cooked up like a Christmas goose filled with fireworks. EC8's plying ahead here through Redxwings' tattered lines. Got to Stug the command tank in pursuit here of the EC8s as they commit a daring heist right through Redxwings' outskirts. Looks like he's going to swing up there. He might try and get the Grenadiers on retreat, which would not be a bad lead, but he could be actually trying to get behind. Redxwings supporting his right. No, he's not even that. He's going for the base. He's going for the base, I think. But there you go. Tanks threatening the flank here. It's going to force Redxwings to change his projection. He's actually up there. We go. Almost got the command tank here. Instant grenade off. He could get it. Stug opening up the AC6 going for it. Oh, going for the command tank. And there you go. Command tank is down. But there you go. Double packs that will take out the Ace EC8. Quite a loss of a Protegenic. A veteran for EC8 crew is going to be a difficult thing to replace. And another command tank for Redxwings. Another Befehls Panzerwagen. Promising more command and control. Most importantly, or else to decrease the damage. Almost got that Stug. Panther 4 moving in there, threatening to crash with units, machine gun coming up. Then Ace machine gun by the way there for Redxwings. The Sugar fire there, Panther 4 needs to hold back. Command tank swing in there. Protegenic in a pretty peculiar situation versus Redxwings. Lacking, I think, sufficient armor forces to really challenge Redxwings at the moment. He's going to have to play defensively. And always try to outmaneuver Redxwings when he can sort of build up the larger forces will really begin threatening Redxwings again. At least he's got minesweepers now. Smoke bomb down there. 173 points left for Protegenic. There you go, Panther 4 swings by, going for the raft and going for the jugular. Oh, Pioneers wiped, leaving him with just one Pioneer squad, one Grenadier squad. versus Protegenic with 3 or 2 riflemen and a lieutenant and some re-echelons. Eastern moving in the close vicinity too. Eastern side is being easily secured there by Protegenic for now. Of course, it's going to have a hard time defending that territory if Redxwings just decide to push through there and ignoring the centre, at least getting it up for now. Then again, he might not be so keen on it considering how his overall state of victory points looks, so there's certain potential there for Protegenic against Redxwings. Fighting around the centre continues. In the west here, Panther 4 was taken out by the EC8, and we got a captain out for Protegenic. Most likely that means anti-tank guns and pack howitzers, since the anti-tank is going to be good against both the Panther Force and the Stooks, and the pack howitzers was any other support weapons that Redxwings might be lying about. Arnhem 52 points left for Protegenic for the 5th Armoured Division as the assault has run into mission as the camp for the Steiner. Casualties are piling up, tanks are left smouldering by the wayside as Redxwings feeds more troops and equipment into the fight against the armies. Rather than being suppressed, shot to bits. Lots of light machine fire then were taken out here by the command tank as well. Smoke down. Rifleman almost down, but one man, Lewis, managed to get out of there. More riflemen out here for Protegenic. He's suddenly got a reasonable infantry force again. So will it be enough now to sort of gain control of the map? Redxwings are obviously that's a larger force than Protegenic. Let's take out the Panther forming against the captain, supported by some infantry. With Pioneers inbound as well to provide further support. With any ducking Yankees. There you go, EC8 to the rescue of the beleaguered units. Inside the house, there you go, captain retreats. And so does the EC8. As suddenly Redxwings is bringing everything in can to take out the remaining tank there from Protegenic. At least remaining for now. And of course Redxwings doesn't know how many tanks Protegenic exactly has, so he knows he's taken out 2. And of course how his resource situation if he can actually get another one easily. Almost down to 100 victory points here though for Protegenic. The Redxwings down to 26. Damage engine. Big push in Protegenic. No real sort of attempt at flanking or maneuver. Just one very forceful push through the centre, which one machine gun can more than well easily stop. That we're dealing with the lone rifleman in the east and takes them out. 5th Armoured Division's casualties continue to pile up against the hand. And mortar there forced away by Protegenic's brave boys. Captain the skirmishing out again, another set of smoke bombs here, likely against the church. They're close. But a bit off mark there with my guess, bit off mark. They're taking hits before falling back. Got it from the command tank. We got another Panther there for Redxwings. No attempt at tier 4 though. Looks like he just doesn't care. Which is certainly a valid thought. Then as well as the captain got the EC moving ahead here into the packs. Bit of a mistake there by Protegenic. Bit of a mistake. More smoke bombs on for Redxwings. More smoke bombs. Though the overall impact seems a bit limited up this time around. seems a bit limited. Shots being fired left and right. Panther 4 falling back a bit close to Veteran 2-1. Grenadiers firing around the road. And we got the tank here swinging actually close to Veteran 3 and the ace level. The Protegenic force overall continues to struggle, having suffered quite a few losses consistently. Now the EC8 there for Protegenic. He's down to 100 victory points versus Redxwings 26. Things are only getting more challenging here for Protegenic and the 5th Armoured. It seems to have run out most of its steam here as the Kampfgruppe has only sort of really gone into its groove. Troop shielding reinforcing. Falling back close to Veteran C2. There's only 4 points left for Protegenic for the 5th Armoured. Bit of shooting there, and in the east we got these hits strong. Your Grenadiers down to half health already, and half size in squad numbers. Now the EC8 there around, so he's got to again those quick to split mapping against the Redxwings, making these Redxwings just focus down one very hard because he's beginning playing them very aggressively. And there you go, down to less than half health already. So to say that Protegenic C6 was not having an easy time here versus Redxwings, not having an easy time. You got more smoke bombs in. Command taking a bit of trouble here. EC8 continues to fall back as Redxwings continues to pursue. More smoke being dropped there. Sadly, it only makes it easier here for Redxwings units to get closer to the EC8. And there you go. Takes out his freshly arrived tank, leaving him once more only with his veteran EC8 crew. Lots of shooting here, troops to fall back. You got the EC8 on the move. Very, very, very close to Veteran 3, but will it be enough? Will it be enough? And ambulance heading out here in a raid by Redxwings on Protegenic space. 14 versus 39. 13. 12. Rushing up to grab the rest of the victory point. Tons of pioneers on the way there for Protegenic. EC8 ace falling back here. 10 points left. 8 points left. Seven points left before Redxwings managed to stop the victory point lead. And Grenadiers still wipe the fat Redxwings with absolutely no infantry left. Good hit there from the Stug on the EC8. Ooh, misses. That on hand was not a miss. More casualties in the side of his base. Tank down by the looks of it. Ace Panther 4, they're just wreaking havoc. And we got the ACC coming in there. And there we go. Ace goes down to the other ace. Panther 4 though goes down to Bazooka Rocket. In the end though, he's down to 33 points. Redxwings got 5 pioneers out on the field.
A capture point is under attack.
Osman on the way there for Redxwings. And we got Messi there from Protegenic. Very mess indeed. 24 points. 22.
Capture point is being overrun.
Ooh, nice hits from the command tank. 18. 16. 12. So 10 points left. Looks like this is the end of the road for the 5th Armoured. They did their best, but in the end that was not quite enough versus Germany, Deutschland and the Kampfgruppe Steiner. And there you go, GG, game over. A loss for Protegenic, a victory for Redxwings. Victory for a somewhat unusual strategy involving a lot of parties. We need a mechanized Grenadier group. Protegenic started out nicely, but I think he failed to capitalize on it several times. You know, again, no mines, no sandbags, and nothing that can really make it harder for Redxwings to push through. Plus, on the mistakes here, I think some bad calls with the units cost him quite a bit. They're allowing Redxwings to slowly scratch his way back into the fight. On the other hand, I think Redxwings' strategy had a few flaws itself. I mean, obviously it's unconventional, so it makes it a bit hard to fully determine how good it is, but I think there's definitely some issues there with the late game potential that could have been exploited by Protegenic, but in this regard he did get lucky. I do think he should have gone for some more Pentagon leaders and tried to keep them alive. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. This is Imperial signing off. I'll be back tomorrow, in fact, with another video. So thank you all and see you all. Cheers.